installation, we can able to just explore the applications in our Android side. For example, if for example, Flipkart or some Facebook Lite is there, right? Facebook Lite.
Okay,
That's
Facebook
also,
Lite. Yeah, Facebook Lite. I know the application. Yeah.
yeah, that kind of application. Like I want to discuss about what is called instant apps. Like without installation, how it will be and how they are making.
Yeah. I can talk about that. Yeah, so I'll put down that question. It's interesting question. It's very becoming more, or at least um, it was supposed to be popular when it came out, but for some reason the idea wasn't taken as much. But now I think it is getting back to the game because of the deep links, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit just in a moment. But great question. So let's see.
Okay.
Other than that, I wanted to share now. I mean, we are 5 minutes in. Let me share a little bit more about what I wanted to initially in this call, and then we can talk about these details later. So, first of all, I wanted to say that this community grew in the last year for about, I think, over 50%, which is awesome. And another thing is that it increased the engagement a lot in the last few months, and that was due to the fact that actually school, the platform, pushed to the communities that we should like have this classroom, that the things that are in the classroom to be something that you can achieve or unlock by being more active in the community. So like the people that are engaging more, they are growing in the leaderboard. So then some things are gonna unlock. And also another metric is that after I started as answering questions with Loom videos, I think that also increased the engagement and people find those more valuable as well. So I don't know if you've seen such answers in some of the posts, but if you did, would be nice if you can give me here some feedback. Maybe like, do you like that approach? How do you feel about it, and so on, so that I will know to proceed with that. Finally, there were lots of new things in the classroom, and there are also other things coming in. What I was working on lately was this job profile optimization course, and I reduced the level to access it to level 3, which is easily achievable. And basically, that was that's a course that came out from the experience that I was helping other people to land a job lately. So you saw all these posts throughout the year with successful stories where I helped somebody to land a job, and basically this course captures all the process that we've done with these people. So it should be something helpful, regardless if you are about to change a job or not. It's something that you can start looking into and taking in consideration when it comes to your profile, which is your CV, your LinkedIn, your GitHub, so that when the time comes for you to change a job, it's going to be much easier. Um, and I found a mechanism that helps me to be more productive in course development, which is I am also sort of getting more motivation and found it easy to do the editing and the recording of the courses, so that I do sort of more frequent updates in the classroom. So I ship more materials, or let's say the process is made easier. So, and another thing that I really like is that I don't wait now until something is complete. Like as I develop, as I build something, I'm putting it there. The idea is that here I mean, I want to put in the classroom materials and things that you find valuable or that you want. So like it's one thing what I think you want, it's another thing what you really want. So if you give me feedback by making posts or just send me a DMs, this is what you may what we may focus on. That's gonna be most helpful, I guess. That's the other thing. And ultimately, moving on, well, there are two more things I want to share. First is there was a post by Karim uh, yesterday or 2 days ago, and it's something that I was thinking of as well about this co-working session, because this co-working session, the format doesn't feel so nice because we didn't change really much about it since the beginning of the community. And many people are coming to this session completely lost and they don't know what's happening. And yeah, it is sort of a Q&A session, but it doesn't have much structure and format. And I'm not sure if you want this, if you want to proceed with this or not. And then Karim made a post. I mean, I tried actually posting before, hey, what do you want to talk about on Wednesday? And there was not much response. That was a post last year. And I thought maybe, okay, like let's just stick to what we have. But the question was brought again. And actually, in this poll, most of, like all the votes, so 7 people voted, not many. I would assume that still many people are, under the the um, the New Year impression and not very active in the community, which is understandable. But at least from these people, all of them voted that we should actually create weekly poll for topics, which means every Monday I'll make a post where you can drop me topics. So what we're gonna be talking about. And it would be nice if, for example, somebody wants to present something, some learning that they have. So it's not about me talking to you all the time. It would be nice if some of you, for example, learned about particular thing. I don't know, maybe a library, maybe something interesting, cool. So we can discuss that as an approach, as something to be considered. It doesn't have to be like perfect presentation or something. It can be just a share screen or just you talking about it and then having open discussion. Anyway, we are gonna be making these posts. So I will make a post on Monday. Hey, what do you want to the session to be on Wednesday? It could be 1, 2 topics, depending. Like if it's a small thing, can be 2 or 3 topics, and then we're gonna be talking about those. And if you don't manage to talk about everything, then we can shift something. We're gonna have an idea for the next time, right? So hopefully that makes sense, and that should make or should bring more value to these sessions on Wednesday that we are having. Hope that makes sense. And the last thing that I wanted to share is that I would also invite, in fact, I started inviting some people from the community that are kind of, talking at conferences or building some open source so that we can learn from them, but also have some fun. So on 27th of this month, so not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that, at the end of January, we're gonna have Sergio Satre is his last name. I don't know. Let me share my screen so I'll share with you guys who is the person in question. And we are discussing what he would be talking about, but probably it's going to be something related to compose, test-driven development, or something like that, or both. And is my screen visible? Yeah. So this is the poll that I was talking about that Karim made about the posts and votes, what we're going to be talking on Wednesdays. So that's going to be a change in the community. And this is, yeah, let me show you. This is the person that I'm talking about. Probably you know him. He's also GDE, and yeah, we were just discussing what would be the topic, what he would like to talk about, and I'm gonna make probably tomorrow morning an announcement about this, so you can also drop what you would like to be, what you would like him to talk about, and then I'll also communicate with him so that the session is gonna be as valuable as possible for you all guys. Um, Hopefully that makes sense. And you can also drop me like if you want me to invite somebody in particular, that would be nice. Because again, it's not about me only; it's about everybody. Hopefully that makes sense. How do you feel about these guys? Awesome.
It's a good idea.
Nice. Yeah, so I think that the Wednesday sessions, I just want them to be more fun and more helpful ultimately, because the idea behind the community is to be helpful, to be something of value. So I think this is going to contribute in that regard. Now, there was a question when we started this session about the instant apps. An instant app, the idea is that you can have an application, but it must be lightweight, that you can run on the on a device in memory, so don't have to install it. Now, this is a concept that was brought to Android like few years ago. And for example, imagine that you are having um, an application, like let's say you see a tweet with a link about some news. I think Washington Post, the application of Washington Post, I think it has an instant app or something like that. And then you click on the link, and instead of, for example, opening a web page, you're opening instant app. So you have the in-app experience. The only difference is that the app is loading on the in the RAM. It is not installed, and then you have the real application experience. And at the bottom somewhere, you're going to have install the app link that brings you to Google Play to actually install the full experience of the application. Now, another example would be, let's say there is an application in the Netherlands about post delivery. So if you have a track and trace code of a package that you are receiving, let's say, you click on the track and trace, you don't need to have the application installed. It's gonna run an instant app, and you will see what's the status of the delivery, for example. So hopefully it makes sense what I'm trying to explain what an instant app is. And you can think of, for example, lately, uh, probably you're all aware that Google is killing the deep links, the deep link functionality, and the deep link system that they were providing so far through Firebase. They're going to be discontinuing, if they haven't yet, they're going to discontinue that system. And maybe these instant apps are going to get back to popularity because of that, because now you can have an instant app, so that when somebody clicks on a link, instead of, for example, you redirecting them to Google Play, you're going to open an instant app where they can see what actually the link is about. They will get the in-app experience, and then they have this link to install the application right away. And in terms of how to build one, actually you need to have a modularized setup. So your application has to be modularized, and this module that will handle this, I mean, this instant application is just one module that can run independently. And to build one, I mean, Android Studio has its own wizard. Let me try actually to demonstrate it here. The screen is visible. So if you go and create new, yeah, this is a modularized application, right? So you go and create new module. Here you can select instant dynamic feature. So basically, you have to just create this module and build the logic inside. And it has to be, you have to be aware that there are some limitations. Like this, it couldn't be like, there are limitations in terms of size, because you have to consider that this is an app that runs in memory. So it is not being installed. And then also when there is a demand to open an instant app, you you have to consider that it has to load from somewhere in order to run in memory. So it should get downloaded in essence. So that's why there is a limitation in terms of size. It couldn't be too big. But yeah, I wouldn't get into all the details because I'm not aware from top of my mind right now. It's been maybe over a year since the last time I developed an application that has an instant app inside, instant feature inside. So yeah, does this answer your question, Surya?
Yeah, yes, this is I need. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. And yeah, you can find some applications that are having instant features. You can maybe Google, and then you can experience how does the whole thing work. Basically, by registering that as an instant app on Google Play, that's how Google Play knows that it can handle specific things by using your deep link. Sorry, your instant application.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. um, yeah. So as I said, for the rest of the call, we can proceed because I haven't prepared anything other than this data that I shared so far and the plans that I shared so far. I don't have anything planned for today, so we can proceed with Q&A if somebody has any question or any remark on maybe ideas that you want to throw. How, like, what would you like to see in the community more? I will just take all the feedback if you want to share.
Mhm.
And like, I'm not gonna take anything personally. Just like, if you have at least one thing that sucks, just let me know about it. I won't take it personally. Just say this sucks, and then I'll think of improving it. Mark asks if this is an instant app. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. I hadn't heard of it before, so
Yeah. So essentially, you can try it out, and it has to be small. That's the whole point.
yeah.
And then when it's small, it can run inside in the RAM, and it can load fast when you don't have it. And then it shows a little button somewhere like
That's
download
yeah.
it.
On the left hand side is a getting started, so
Yeah,
they kind of walk you through a little bit of it.
exactly. Yeah, but this is exactly what you are looking for.
Okay. And are they coming back to this? Because when I googled what's an Android instant app, um, a few posts said, "Oh, it's dead. They're not going to do anything else with it." Um, but
It's tricky question.
yeah,
It's been there.
like everything from Google.
Yeah, because you see, it's been there since a while ago. I mean, at least few years, but it didn't reach any popularity. However, I would expect this to become more popular when they kill the Firebase deep links. Now, companies would either build their own deep linking system, or they'll have to come back to this. Or that's my expectation. Just being humble here. I don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah.
So I haven't heard about them killing off the deep links to Firebase.
Um.
I'll Google that as well.
So you could register a deep link, and then sorry, was it deep link or dynamic? Firebase dynamic links. This is the one that I was talking about. And now the idea behind this is that if you click on a link that is a dynamic Firebase link, if you have the application installed, it's gonna launch the application. Otherwise, it's gonna bring you to Google Play. And then once the application is installed, it launches the application with a bundle that contains the initial thing that you've clicked, so that you can bring the user to the particular screen where they were going with the data that was clicked, if that makes sense.
Oh,
So for example,
thank you.
imagine you are having a Twitter application. Then you click on link that should open particular tweet which has specific ID. Now, if you just go to Google Play um, and install the application, you want after the installation to sort of redirect the user inside the application to the post that they were about to see. And this system was helping with that. Now, either you have to build this yourself, or create an instant app that can handle that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I will explore it. Actually, I got some ideas about it. That's fine, really.
Yeah, so this
Yeah,
is
and
deprecated, and yeah, they're gonna discontinue entirely on August 25th, 2025.
okay. And my next question is like, actually, me and my senior was discussing in my office today. Senior was asked like, for example, the application are already released in Play Store, and so many people are downloaded. Now, for example, this month is coming, Christmas is coming, so we need to change the theme as Christmas theme, something, some kind of theme or color or something, some small changes we need to implement it without giving the app update in Play Store. So he asked the question to me. Actually, on the time, I don't know about this thing, and I googled it. It was saying something called Firebase remote config. So with help of that, we can able to achieve this. But like it's when I was googled, it's saying like Firebase remote config is like a key value kind of thing,
Yeah.
and we need to like only small changes we can able to give update or something. We can able to add more any functionality, that kind of things. So, can you please explain more about this thing and correct me if I'm wrong?
No, no, that's right. So, I mean, traditionally, you would build this system on your own, like on your own backend, like additional system. But luckily, Google created that for us, and it made it so robust that basically you don't need anything in addition. So this remote config is indeed key value system, but it knows more about your application if you're using Firebase SDK in your app anyway. So like you can say from version this and this, from date this and this flag is gonna be true. And then when you launch the application, you are loading the remote configuration, which is key value. And you can see if particular key is true or false, or it could be any other value. It doesn't have to be only true or false. It could be, let's say, um, a link. Maybe like you can definitely like you can use different API URL based on remote configuration if you want. Now, as you can imagine, you can do a lot of things with this remote configuration. You can enable disable features. So many people that are using trunk-based development, if I'm sure you have heard of this feature flags thingy, they can also use this configuration for that. And then what you can do is like you can develop a full feature, but a button that goes to that feature is going to be enabled or disabled based on this remote configuration. And then at some point when the feature is complete, you can just say on Firebase, enable this feature. And what's great about it is that you can also enable per country, per OS. Like you can enable it on OS version, let's say on Android 11 and up maybe. So it is very, very robust. It's done very nicely. So that's one approach how you would solve the problem that you have described. Another one is, which is also getting more popular lately, is server-driven UI. So
Okay,
yeah,
okay, okay.
and I think there was a post a while ago in the community. I mean, there was dedicated workshop. It's somewhere in the classroom, the recording. What you can do with a server-driven UI is that you have an application. It loads some JSON from the backend, and this JSON, in essence, describes what you're going to be rendering. So the JSON can have, for example, render. I mean, the structure of the JSON would be, for example, toolbar with title this, then body with, I don't know, list with these items, and then, I don't know, some navigation items even. And then you just parse this JSON and render what this JSON tells you to render. And that way you are not obligated to make an application update if you want to render different UI at some part of the application. It just loads from the backend what has to be loaded. Sorry, what has to be rendered.
Okay. Okay. Can you
Yeah.
please share like yeah.
If you just Google server driven UI, you'll find a lot of things related to the topic. And then I don't know, if I open a few, you will get, like, you see it's just a JSON structure that tells what's gonna be rendered.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, these components will have to be predefined. Like, I don't know how a card looks like. You are developing that, let's say, in Jetpack Compose. And then when the JSON comes, the JSON says, here, render a component with, let's say, ID, this and that ID will map to a composable of your own that you are having, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. I will note on service driven UI. Okay.
Server driven UI.
Service.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can drop the term here in the chat, and you can Google and you can find more about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the shortcut is SDUI, and I think if you go to school.com Android devs and then search here server driven UI. So yeah, here there is a post that I made, and you can find some articles that are explaining the topic in details. These are good. We made
Okay.
some discussion here, I think, also. And also in the Kotlin Conf 2024, they also, like, if you check this post,
Okay.
um,
Okay.
you can find sort of the Kotlin way of doing the thing. So yeah, just search this term inside Android devs first, and then you can start there. And hopefully you will find useful information. Now, I
Yeah.
mean, this is gonna take a little bit more of a setup and development, especially when you just get started. But it's just another way to solve the problem that you mentioned at the beginning. I think Firebase remote configuration is gonna be easier to begin with.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and with the
Okay.
server-driven UI, probably you are gonna have more. How to say? You are gonna have more limitations, I would say. But you are gonna, I mean, for simpler applications, it's gonna work. So again, you'll have to do the work on both platforms. Now with Compose multi-platform, probably you can even reduce that to developing once. But as you can imagine, for some complex or more complex things, you will need to support both platforms anyway. And in that sense, maybe having the Firebase remote config is gonna be, again, you will have to weigh this yourself and see what works better.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Got it.
cool.
Yeah. And like my next last question is like, for example, if we are trying to release one application
Hmm.
in Play Store, and that application should be only available in um, for example, for India
Mm-hmm.
or Netherlands. This for example, if you go to Play Store,
Yeah.
the application name is Sample App. If I search in Play Store in Sample App, it should be available only in Netherlands country,
Mm-hmm.
not in any other countries.
Yeah.
So, what kind of configuration we need to uh, do while releasing the application in Play Store console or
Yeah. So if you
uh,
go to Google Play, sorry, here I have few applications, one of which is the Android devs, the project that we are working inside this community. It is on Google Play because we were setting CI/CD, and part of the setup is deploying the application. So that's why we have it, but it is not in production. It's just in a testing track. So like when the application hits any of these tracks, whether it is internal, closed testing, whatever track, internal actually you couldn't do much for the
okay,
internal. But for the closed testing and everything above that channel, like alpha, beta, internal testing essentially is alpha. Then you have beta and you have production. For those channels, you can set up countries. So if you go here, you can select where in which country do you want the application to be available.
okay.
So if you edit countries, regions here, the screen is visible, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So here you can select which country do you want this to be available.
Okay. And like my senior asked, for example, in case someone using VPN,
Okay.
on that time also we need to restrict to visible that in the sense how we can handle.
Uh, if they are using VPN on their mobile device,
Yeah, because we need to install application via Play Store only. So obviously mobile. Yes.
mm, I don't know this.
Mm. If
Maybe
what
somebody,
using
maybe
like
somebody has an idea about this.
Yeah, please. What's that question again, please?
So imagine you have restriction on your application only in particular country, let's say in India. Now I, being in Netherlands, I can install a VPN on my device, appear in India, and install your application.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he's asking what would be the solution to that. I don't know about the installing the application, but maybe you can do particular checks inside the application once the application is installed. For that, maybe you can do some checks to detect, but to
ah,
install, I don't know.
no, you are saying like after installation, right? But I'm asking to short it out in Play Store, not how to
These,
install the.
yeah, these what I demonstrated to you will restrict on Play Store only to
No, no.
particular country. But if somebody is coming with a VPN appearing in that country, I don't think that Play Store will detect that. So I'm not sure if you actually have a way to do anything about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Play Store
Actually,
has its own uh, checks when it comes to this. Like they don't only rely on what IP address you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
They also check your, I believe, your SIM card and your payment method. So if you have any credit cards linked to your Google Pay account,
That's right.
so those also matter. I
They
know
do
because I
additional
tried.
checks for the account for sure. Yeah. So if your account, like let's say your Gmail account is a particular country, or in the last few hours or something, it was in particular country, they definitely will detect that, and that's built in. Yeah.
it is like it is really checking, or we you are saying maybe it will check.
No, it will check
Or,
for sure. Like they are not only relying on the VPN. That's for sure.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, June.
No problem.
Yes, yeah, my doubts are clear.
Okay, cool.
By the way, is the VPN taking the location?
No, the VPN is only faking the HTTPS
Yeah,
traffic, not the location.
not sure it is so something like workaround if you can take the user location and compare it or something like that as a workaround. I mean,
The thing is, you don't have access. Like somebody is opening Google Play application, and you don't own Google Play application. So like you couldn't do anything in that regard in terms of restrictions, right? Once the person installs your application, then it's your code that is running. So you can do any checks you want. But before that, when you deploy the application on Google Play, the only thing that you can do is basically
yes,
do these checks here.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
And Google Play is sort of responsible to make sure whoever is trying to install that they are not faking their location.
Yes,
Okay, for example, okay, now, okay, now there is one application like Google Map in India called Map is Map India.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, uh, in actually I'm working in Suzuki application, Suzuki Motorcycles Private Limited. On that application, if we there is so many applications in Play Store for the fake location services.
Okay.
For example, if you are in India inside one district or one state, we will select some other state. Uh, it will show the current location as in other districts or other states. For example, Logito. Logito is the famous fake GPS location application we need to enable with the help of our development mode. Okay, on that time, in MMI, actually, that map is map India was not allowing to uh, set the fake locations in their SDK. But we are, as a developer, we are not doing anything, but we just try to check whether it is possible or not. We check it is not working. But same thing, I was checked in Google Maps, it was working fine. For example, if you are in state one, but in the fake application, I am selected the state three and minimize the application, minimize the fake application, and go to Google Maps, and the current location is pointing to the fake location address only. So, like this, how we MMI are restricted in their SDK level, but as a user, how we can restrict to like avoid the fake location permissions, like fake scenarios, how we can handle.
The thing is, like if you are already inside your application, you can request location updates to fetch the location of the user. If that service that serves to you the location was faked, there is no way for you to detect it. Because how do you know whether the location is real or not? It doesn't tell you if it's real or not. It just says, okay, this service gives me these coordinates for me.
Okay,
So there is, I don't see a way how would you detect that.
but how they are
You can even root a device. If you root a device, you can do even worse things.
yeah, that I understood, but while thinking about the location thing, it was like
Go ahead, Taha.
Yeah, I was just going to add that you can try to detect if they have developer options enabled or mock locations enabled, but you can only try. You can't guarantee it 100%,
Yeah,
or if they have root or something. But at least you can like put the checks there, to make just to be sure.
yeah.
But there are always workarounds for it.
Yeah. I don't think you will anytime you will be 100% sure that this is the exact location. I'm not sure if you can actually do that. To be 100% sure that that's a fake or that's not a fake location. You can, as Taha just said, you can put checks in place, but it's not going to be 100%.
Okay. Okay.
And you have to also internalize that it depends on a device to device, rooted, not rooted, which SDK version, which OS version, and so on and so forth, which device. Some devices are more allowing compared to other devices that are more restricting.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Understood.
cool. Anything else? Or anybody else?
Okay, yeah, I have a point maybe we can discuss.
Yeah,
Yeah, as you know, sometimes we need to handle the state and compose. So what's sometimes we use view model to handle it, and sometimes we use compose state management to handle it. So in your opinions, uh, when to use each one? I mean, which scenarios to use each one as the best scripts? I mean,
yeah. I think it really depends on your business requirements first, and then um, what 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 makes sense, what doesn't. So let me give you some examples, so maybe to make it more clear. Let's say you have a list of items like this one here, and then you have a little filter on top. So like as you are here, there is a filter, and as you are typing, it's gonna filter the list. Like it is safe to store it in the view model, and then if you navigate away from this screen and come back, the filter is gonna be remembered. But if that's not important thing for the business, if resetting it is okay, then you can keep it in the composable itself as a state. Meaning that if you navigate away and come back, it's gonna reset the state. If that's okay, so then you are gonna still see the full list when you come back. I mean, it's the safest is to store it in the view model, but if it's something that is not very important, then you can also keep it in the composable itself. Let's say one of the things that I most of the time consider as not important, and I'm not now. Of course, it depends on the situation, case by case. But I was working recently on a feature where actually, let me demonstrate maybe. Here is Android Studio running device. This one. So you see this button here this is a ticket, like a task or a ticket, and then this here is a state of it, and then you can update the state. Now this is bottom sheet that is appearing, and now I don't consider the open state of this bottom sheet as something that I would remember in the view model. So I just remember it in the composable, and then yeah, I just like when you change the thing, it changes and dismisses, and that's it. So I don't store it in the view model, if that makes sense. Which means that if, for example, now I navigate somewhere and come back, this is gonna be dismissed because the state's gonna be
yeah,
reset.
yeah. But if you want to reopen the bottom sheet and see the selected one,
Yeah,
you
in
select it
that case, you would store it in the view model because the view model will survive the essentially the recompositions in this case of the screen, because the screen will recompose when you come back.
yeah,
The top
yeah.
composable. and it's gonna reload the latest state known to the view model, and the latest state is gonna be preserved. Another thing that you can use to preserve the state, and that's something that I'm planning to work on in some of the co-working sessions in the future, is using this circuit circuit. I don't know how to pronounce it right, but there is a library from Slack.
Yeah.
Um, compose. Yeah, and this is essentially also like a library that can handle that for you, especially the state thingy. But then if you are working with this library, then you also have to use that navigation that they are providing, which is not bad. It's okay, but it is sort of, because of the nature of how it works, how it stores the state and restores it when you go back or navigate around. It does sort of caching for you. So you don't have to take
Yeah.
care of caching, but then you have to also use their navigation
Yeah.
because that's integrated together. And it's really cool library, I would say. It's nice one. You can test things, and then basically it is like a MVP, the presenter being a composable that is preserving its state, and it knows how to do it because of the library itself. So it's cool. Maybe we can discuss this one at some of the co-working sessions if that makes sense.
Yeah, cool. The idea is that sometimes I see that I can see remember mutable state or something like that. At the same time, I can use view model. So I ask myself which one I can use, which one is the best, and so on.
Hmm.
So yeah, reason for that I raised the question. But yeah,
No, it's awesome question, right? And exactly, you have to consider what's the importance of the user seeing this. Like it could be, let's say, an animation, for example.
yeah,
Yeah, if would you store that in the view model? Probably not. It's gonna be it in between the composable.
yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
awesome. Thanks for bringing the question. All right. Um, if that's it, let's close a little bit sooner today. I mentioned at the beginning, I don't feel super well today. Have some high blood pressure lately. I don't know what's the problem. We'll have to investigate, but yeah, nothing important or yeah, concerning just yet. But yeah, uh,
Everything will be okay for you soon.
everything should be okay. Yeah, I'm gonna post this recording. It's a valuable session. I found it interesting today. Thanks for everybody for the contributions and the questions. I'm gonna post it and I'll make a post. And then yeah, from next week, on Monday, I'm gonna make a post what we are gonna be discussing on Wednesday, so that on Wednesday we're gonna have more of a structure. So I think the sessions are gonna become more valuable. And thanks to Karim for bringing that back.
Yeah, well,
And if anybody of you wants to talk about something in particular, wants to share some learning, anything, let me know. So it will be again community for community.
Yeah, Joe, I already asked about that BLE. If it is possible, can you please? You already said, huh? GDE, who is one guy. Uh, so, if the topic regarding that BLE, it make me helpful to me.
If the topic is about what?
Be Bluetooth low energy.
Oh, yeah, I don't think he would like to talk about BLE. I'm not sure because he's more about compose. He's building a plugin. Let me share with you. Compose preview scanner. Um, and probably it's gonna be related to around this library basically.
Okay, okay.
But I can find some. Oh, this other guy that I mentioned about the BLE. maybe I can invite him. That is that what you're saying? That I was
Yeah.
asking the okay, yeah, I'm gonna reach out to him. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. And I want to, your LinkedIn profile. Can you please share in the chat so that I will connect with you?
My
Because I'm
LinkedIn profile,
trying
of course.
to,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
LinkedIn in your so yeah, it's pretty much yeah.
yeah. Thank you.
Alrighty. Thank you everybody for the
It,
contributions. Sorry.
no, it's enough.
Okay. Okay. Cool, guys. Thank you so much. And yeah, looking forward to see you next week. And of course, engaging in the community. Right.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a nice
Thank
evening,
you.
day. Okay.
Yeah. Take care of your health. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.